at this incredible mill building. Yeah, it's pretty unstable towards the front. You can see a workshop here on the side. Really cool. We're gonna see if we can get in there. It looks like somebody's pulled down the fence here already. Keep in mind, if you do visit the site, actually, looks like there's an opening right down there anyways. If you do visit the site, we do not recommend going inside this fence. It looks extremely unstable and sort of turned into a sinkhole around where the shaft is. So getting near that is paramount to, it's close to suicide. Okay, what does it say over here? Caution, mercury. And the size and area of past mining or processing activity. Our levels of mercury vapor, which has been determined to be hazardous to your health. So in these areas, well, I'm not gonna be making sandcastles. And mercury, everybody, okay, here's an interesting thing, which I'd like to point out. Do you know, according to the Geneva Convention, and I think the CDC as well, mercury and lead are considered on the same levels of toxicity. Yeah, that's right. But here's an interesting thing. If you make a mercury bullet and shoot somebody with it, that violates the Geneva Convention. But if you shoot them with a lead bullet, which gives them slow lead poisoning for a lifetime, that's condoned. Yeah, things make sense. We got some bolts. We've got, not sure what that guy is. Looks like a drive shaft almost. Ooh, these are from stamps. That looks like a, looks like part of a boss. Maybe that's the shoe. Oh yeah. Bunch of piping. This looks like a storage area. Old ladder. Keep looking around this area. Something on the other side there, another room. Cabling, piping. A nice old sink. Oh, fortunately the porcelain's cracked. Ooh, we got a drill column here. What's this? We've got a Westinghouse motor. Ooh, baby! Look at that ball mill. That is no joke. It's a big one. Got a 5-panel door here. Lots and lots of tools and parts. I mean, everybody, you see the mill, but you never realize how much is required just in infrastructure to run one of these things. Oh, okay, this must be the bottom of one of those conical towers here. And you can see it's got a funnel, and there's a feed motor, so it's got an automatic feed rate. Keep the, you don't want to feed too fast, but you don't want to feed too slow. And it feeds it right up and into the ball mill. Take a look around here. The drive belts are all gone. Oh yes, look at this. Look at all the balls in storage. Wow. And these are unused, so they're still really big. I've seen them at old mine sites where they're the size of a pebble. So cool. Let's check out the rest of the mill. Yeah, I gotta show this real fast. It's a giant potentiometer made by Cutler Hammer. Oh, you can kind of see the wipers going by. Very cool. Got another gangplank here. Ooh. One of the motors. And this little door here, you can feel the heat from the sun baking the roof. Hello. I can't help it. I see a door, I take a door. Water tank over there. Really good look at this room here. Just came in from the door right there. It's the ball mill room. Very neat. Oh, easy does it. Oh, hello. Yeah, what does it say here? Mine and...
It says Marcy Ball Mill.
Oh.
Probably mine and...
Something?
Does that say smelting?
Mine and smelter supply company. Well, if it wasn't going around the corner, it'd be easier to read. I like how up there, look, that little hatch is open and there's a tub of grease in a Hillsborough coffee tin. It's interesting. They use these boards. I guess it's God, what do you call it? Not particle board, but yeah, particle board, where it's made out of like splinters and stuff. But I don't know why they used it to coat the whole room. Maybe it's like sound deadening. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, yeah, this is pretty neat. Go take a look around. Woo. What is? They look like they're agitators for a flotation plant, is what it looks like. There's one over here too. And you notice they got little feet on them, so they're kept off the bottom. Yeah, these look like agitators for flotation. Oh, there's another one over there? Hang on, let's take a look-see. Yeah, damn. Where are we going here? What are we looking at?
These things?
Well, this also looks like some sort of flotation. I don't know.
Did you walk over here?
No, I haven't got them over here yet. There's a nice shot of the mill. The drive motor. Wow. Giant ring gear. Turn the whole thing. Oh, and a rate classifier as well. Yeah, these look like... I wonder if they had... Yeah, I wonder if this was like a flotation type of setup. So the rate classifier would separate out the heavies from the fines and froth it, and then when it comes up through here, it would spill over from these guys and then collect. And you could see what's there. It's like a really fine silt. Some sort of little diverter.
Yeah.
Maybe to make sure that you got evenly to both. You know what? Now that I think about it, the rate classifier would be important because, okay, you got a fine clay-like silt coming out of the ball mill.
Yeah.
And if you don't have something like this rate classifier constantly pulling it up, it would settle to the bottom and form like, thick. Like, what happens when you're like watering mud and shit. You get a thick paste on the bottom and then you can't really get to it. So this is to sit there and prevent that. Beautiful little Westinghouse motor.
Whatever's pulled up to the top here, it's sent back into the...
Ooh, look at this. The door classifier. Dorco. Trademark.
Thanks, you got.
Yeah.
I got the big scoop in here.
Ooh. Oh yeah, I see it. If it pulls it up, if it's heavy enough to get pulled up, it gets sent back down, and then it gets scooped in down here.
So the fines will stay at the bottom, but the large pieces will go back into the ball mill.
Yeah, there's the scoop over there, and you can see the chute coming in from the other room over here. And here's more of this oddly fibrous stuff all over the walls. I think it's sound deadener.
I mean,
it looks like it. Oh yeah, but I mean, and the whole building is padded with this stuff. Or maybe it's insulation, because this is a metal building on the outside. When you go in the other room, you can feel the heat coming through it.
Or for the winters up here too.
Or, yeah, probably both.
things from this. So on the side of the amalgamation table, it's like
What's that you got over there?
some speed controller.
Oh, another yeah, rheostat controller for the ball mill. This is all the ball mill electronics here. It looks like the main disconnect's right here. So maybe for manual washing and whatnot.
Yeah, but check this out. Looks like there's amalgamation tables here.
Looks like a roaster. Oh yeah, or a boiler. Interesting. See all the fire brick. Amalgamation tables. Still plated, which is a very rare thing to see. Normally that's always been taken and stolen. You see, it looks like they used to have little pipes distributing the water on the end. You can hear the ticking of the metal as it heats in the nice sun. Sliding back in that storage room over there. Got a little furnace here. Coleman heater. Interesting. Yeah, the amalgamation room here is seen better days. I hope people come and restore this. Please, please come and restore this. Fix the roof. It won't be long for this world if people don't keep the roofs restored. Well, there was a 5-panel door here till some schmuck broke it. So we're gonna creep on through here. Whoa. Gotta watch my step. This is getting into the older mill. Oh, interesting. You can see it's upside down. USS Columbia Steel Company. That's who made all this corrugated siding. Wow. Okay, this is tools and parts storage. Tell by all the bins that they got here. I don't know why they fenced half of it, not the other half. Some gear drive there, spare belts. I mean, this is just real neat. This is, ooh, looks like a belt switch maybe. Sliding it over. It's a gorgeous day. I think it was covered over here at one time too. Whole bunch of motors and storage. Squirrel cage blower. Wow, okay, we got another compressor here. These are more rollers for the conveyor belt systems. Motors. This is a compressor here. Let's see what it says. Direction rotation. Doesn't say who makes it. Here's a worm drive. You can see the coupler there for it. Manufactured M&G Co. SF California. Wow, the mill's looking kind of sad in this section. That looks like a furnace over there. You can see a little door over there. Those look like... So, okay, they take the ore, they crush it into a fine powder, then they float it, and when they float it, that separates, you get a paste of, it's an oxidated version of the gold and silver, and then they put it on sheets like that, and I think that lets it dry, and then they scrape it off, and then all they have to do is roast it, and that'll give them their mix. There's an American blower down there. Yeah, you can see over here, this used to be covered at one point in time. There's the amalgamation room and the ball mill room. Belts, pipes. God, if I'd been just a few years sooner, I probably could have seen this building in one piece. we're gonna head on upstairs. And say hello, Nick. Hello. Oh, here's a great shot. There's just so much cool stuff here. Isn't this just fantastic, Nick?
Yeah.
Like a kid in a candy store. Let's see what else is in this upper loft. Woo. Looks like vent duct storage. Ooh. A blower. Muffler. Getting down to the tool and part storage. Why, hello. Okay, so they got the big 2 wheels there. That's a compressor. Yeah. Next to it's a motor. They've got a pillow block there, and then the thing next to it that's got sort of like those fingers sticking out of it on the shaft right there. That's a worm drive, and those fingers stick out. They put rubber couplings on that, and so whatever drives it, the motor likely, they rubber couple them. That way, when it starts and stops, that shock load doesn't get transmitted through the gears, because you'll break teeth, you'll shear parts, you know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a shock absorber.
What are these pipes wrapped in?
Okay, so my guess on those, you know, when you take the ore, you crush it, you turn it into a paste, you float it, and then you have, it's a clay, basically a moist clay. Well, I think they pump it through these things, and then these allow it to dry, and then they scrape it off as a powder, is my understanding. So I think that's what the pipes are for. They pump it through, and these are sort of like drying sheets, basically. And so then once they dry it, they scrape it off, and then you'll notice there's a furnace right next to it there, although I don't think this is in the orientation that it would have been during use. But yeah, then they scrape it off and they just have to roast it. So, very neat. Again, they might have had a compressor in this building at one time. As you'll notice, this concrete footing here, it's got a lot of big bolts sticking out of it. So whatever machine was on that, running whatever, it's missing now. So we're going to carefully make our way around. And so far as the sinkhole over there goes, we're not going to get anywhere near it. So that's asking for trouble. Again, I'd like to consider us mine exploring professionals. I mean, after you've explored over 100 abandoned mines, I think you can consider yourself a professional. So, yeah, we don't recommend coming into this area. This is fenced off for a reason. If you don't know what you're doing, do not come in here. If you fall down the shaft, it will kill you. So, let's come on around here, take a look. It's a gorgeous day up here in the Sierras. Yep. See the track coming out. And there's the sinkhole. And I think this is about as close as I want to get, maybe right about here. I get a little closer. Yep, that's about as close as I should get. You'll notice the mill building is floating. Cages over there. I'm about 15 feet back from the hole, even though the film may make it look closer. It's very cool to see the cage still there. See the tracks coming out. There's the switch, what's left of it. So they'd haul it up, and they can go that way, or they could turn and go this way, and that would take them around. That looks like an ore dump. So for waste rock, they dump it. For everything else, they haul it up somehow. Oh, I see. So the elevator would have skip cars underneath it and would haul them up higher and then dump them up there. Yeah, this is real unstable. Loop way around. Nick here for scale. Here's an Ingersoll Rand slusher, which is very neat to see. We just saw one of these in a certain mine recently. You'll see that in a video. This one's extremely complete. This one also looks like it's electric. I don't think this is an air drive, a pneumatic. Oh, maybe it is. It says inlet. Yeah, maybe this is pneumatic. Hard to say. Let's see if I can get a shot down the hole from way over here. Wow, that's yeah, she goes down a ways. This is very dangerous. Don't try this at home, kids. See the what?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Do you think they were, hoisting the cage up to that upper level there and then pulling the workers off because,
well, I think
they want to get it above the mill.
I think the cage went even higher than there. I think the cage went above the roof, and then the skip cars underneath it would dump right to that level up there.
The roof and then right into that building or the top of that ore bin.
Yeah, I'd like to get over to it, but man, this whole section of the building's floating. I don't know if it's worth it to climb up that tower. Oh, for scale.
You can get a bigger one.
It's not too far down. From what I read on the mining reports, I think it's about 250 feet down to the first level.
No, that's like the bottom of the cap.
Oh, that's the bottom? Yeah, so it's, so far as these go, this really isn't all that deep of a mine, but I mean, if the collar has turned into this, just imagine what it's like down below. The heavy earth. Go for it.
Yeah, didn't it fall so far?
It's likely plugged. Yeah. I don't think with all this that's slid down, and it was probably timbered, it probably hit the first station and got plugged. I'm gonna sneak around the side here. Here's a bottom casting for something. Maybe a compressor. Let's see if there's a. Yeah, look, you can see the sinkhole extends all the way out to over here. So just, yeah, extremely unstable. If you look in the room there, you can see heavy motors and stuff. Such a beautiful head frame. It's such a shame. This guy's gonna be it's gonna be on the ground very soon. And then I think if this head frame goes,
well, look,
it's an
and like half of it's gonna fall into the shaft and probably gonna take the building.
Yeah, that side of the building's gonna come down because I think what's holding it up is the frame is wedged like that, and then the building's also wedged like that. So they're wedged in an A shape on top of each other. So all you need to do is one side goes and the rest goes with it, and it'll try and pull most of this building down in it. Glad we got up here to film this when we did. I don't think I'm going to throw this in the video, but we're coming around the doorway here, and we're pretty close to the edge. A lot closer than I think I'd appreciate. We're going to climb right back in. There we go. Yeah, you can see that's the edge of the hole there. Oh, here's that door with the stairs. Yeah, so they barred it off. You couldn't even get in it if you wanted. And here's
there's like these are like roller crushers right here.
Roller crushers?
Yeah, it's two
crushing
wheels.
Yeah.
And the ore goes in between them and it crushes
it gets, yeah. So the interesting thing about this guy,
oh, there's the jaw crusher right there.
It seems like it's being fed from a different location.
What do you mean?
Well, okay, it's got that giant tube with the conveyor belt coming from way over there, right? So is there another shaft or something over there that's bringing... And I don't know why they have that. We'll go up to the end of it and take a look inside, see why it's like that. Does this say Doris? Yeah, look at this. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. The two wheels, you can see the drive sprockets in there, and then there's the motor.
Rose feeder.
Long conveyor, yeah.
Conveyor? Yeah.
Where do you see rose feeder? Oh,
In the box to the right of it.
right next to it. So that must be.
I don't know
Oh,
what
there's probably a feeder. I don't know if you
Well,
saw in the other room, there was a feeder.
Huh.
It had a name tag on it, said constant ore feeder.
And that's how it gets crushed. Here's the wheels. And, yeah, that's fed by this conveyor, which is up the bottom of what I believe is a jaw crusher, and that's fed by the main organ. And this roller crusher feeds down into here. And this is right up to the top of that secondary organ that you saw, and down to the ball mill. Very interesting operation.
Cool. Maybe not. Oh, wow. Wait till you get up here, Nick.
Okay.
I've never seen a chain drive like this.
Looking at the stairs now. Got 2 electric boxes, all conveyor, and rose feeder. This looks like the jaw crusher. Yeah, definitely the jaw crusher. And look at that. Tell Smith jaw crusher, Smith Engineering Works. Important adjustments, instructions. Yeah, I'll let you guys read it.
So a sign that this motor isn't very old. It's made by Mitsubishi. So it's a bit of a newer thing there. And then jaw crusher here. There's the nameplate, Tell Smith jaw crusher. And these chains we've discovered would rotate. They're closed on each end, so they sit there going on a giant loop. Not sure the exact purpose of that. I tried going up the stairs here, but yeah, it's pretty close to suicide. It was getting ready to give way while I was on it, as you can see here. But there's something very cool up here I want to get a shot of, so we're going to sneak up very carefully, very gentle-like, thinking light thoughts. Oh my goodness. You can hear it creaking, getting ready to go. This guy right here, Tyler Thermonic Power Unit. Okay, it even says tube number 6. And I believe what it is a DC half-wave rectifier. It's got a switch, there's A, there's B. And if you look in the side, you could see the thermonic valve that is the half-wave rectifier. And these are usually mercury filled. God, that's so neat. I don't know what it's doing up here. It's also accompanied by this giant rheostat here. Oh, she sounds good and spicy. Oh. But anywho, very neat. There's a little motor drive there. I think that's what drives the chains. Yeah, so look at that. Motor drives a gear reduction to worm drive. And that drives a chain coming up here. That's got a shaft that goes across to a little gear, then drives a big gear, and then turns this big old pulley up here. It's kind of nuts. And this tank, you can hear the whole structure creaking as the sunlight warms and expands the panels.
I was going very slowly.
Very gentle. Think light thoughts. I don't like how whoever built this left a nice gap where you can see down between the boards. Here's the those 2 roller crushers and the start of the conveyor belt. You can see some ore on it. But Nick has informed me that around the corner here, oh, it's an old ore bin. Oh, she's a beaut. Look at the door. Wonder if I could get close enough. You'll notice right down there, that's the hole that leads down to Yeah, the not so fun times if you fall down it. So I'm guessing they would pull the cage way up there, and then skip cars would dump into this bin here. But this is from when they originally started working it. I think all this other stuff is much newer. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, this is probably from the 20s and 30s, and then everything else, like all the history, the reports I wrote on this, like hardly mentioned the newer operations. But this was, like, how old do you think this stuff here is?
Oh, that newer stuff over there. Well, for one, that motor's a Mitsubishi motor, so
Well,
that's probably like,
too.
yeah, easily. That's probably like the 70s, maybe even the 80s. I don't know. How long? Do you know when they last worked this? Because that's probably close to right up in the end.
70s.
Yeah, late 70s. But this looks like.
I didn't get to do much research on this mine before I came.
You know what this reminds me of? The mill at Panamint City. The newer one.
Yeah, I mean,
It's got the same, just the
about the
conveyor
same,
systems
yeah,
and the style. Yeah.
so that'll be around 70s, 80s then.
Yeah, I love the cathedral-like ceilings in this place. Oh, okay, I'm gonna try and turn the wheel.
In here, so I'm not really sure. I don't really know much about these later operations. Most reports I've read said they worked here and there, and then eventually, Boy Scouts of America took over and maintained it. Yeah, I'd be curious to learn more about this operation here, because second ore bin. And yeah, having second thoughts of if I want to walk up this or not. So far it's okay. I'm going to be holding on to these steel supports here. Probably won't sound so good.
Don't look back at me. You've got one way to go. Oh man.
This is kind of retarded. Not gonna.
Reached the top of the conveyor thing here. Beautiful views all around. There's it's a wild Nick coming out of the
Hello there.
coming out of the ore bin down below, which is the thing that's really throwing us off. I don't know if you can pick this up with the camera. Okay, this looks like it's straight, right? No, that's straight. This is angled. Like, look at the earth outside. It's weird. And so the railing, the ladder here is straight up and down, but it looks like it's very steep because you come at it, you're approaching at an angle.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's going, down at this angle, but it's straight up.
The
down.
views are phenomenal. I'm clutching the wall like a madman, for I'm a cowardly fool, and I don't like heights. But
I'm just a fool.
it's this is nuts. Knuckin' futs. Nice shot of the mill out there. But yeah. Anywho, let's get out of here, Nick.
Yeah.
Ah, this is pretty neat. What do you see over there, Nick?
It's one for electrical panel. Disconnect.
The kind of stuff I live for. What do we got? 220 volt lighting. Another Westinghouse. Fuse. There's nothing to grab onto to prevent from falling through the floor. That's lovely. Mine disconnect. I wonder if this is the initial drop for the whole mine. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, check out the size of these conductors coming in here. Main switch disconnect. Ball mill disconnect. Hoist house disconnect. Yeah. So this is where the main power comes in. They got those little inductors up there. Oh, maybe that's to measure, well, there might be little transformers for lighting, or little step-down transformers, or they're using them to measure power. Pretty neat though. It's all mostly newer stuff. The size of this switch. Yep. It should be spring loaded. Oh, I think it has to be in the off position to get the cabinet open. Or maybe it just doesn't open. I guess that cabinet doesn't open. Oh, here we go. This one opens. You can see the spring loaded action of it. Yeah, come on. Why won't you go? Why is it not switching on? That's not right. There we go. And then to release them, it spring loads them so that... Oh, well, I don't know why it's doing that. They're supposed to fling open, and that's to hopefully arrest the arc. These are also arc arresters up here, so that you don't chew the shit out of your contacts and sit there arcing. Very cool. Here's a look inside the mill. Ball mill's there. Amalgamation room's there. Very neat. Okay, so we've made our way carefully over to the workshop, and man, this is so cool. Got a whole bunch of V-belts, gear drives, worm drives, air filters there. A bunch of large nuts. Hey Nick, look at these nuts. Anywho,
Damn it.
Electrical panel. We got this looks like packing here. So they use this for packing seals around stuff. There's a whole bunch of them. What have we got here? Part of an air drill. You can see this is the rotating bit. Drill bit heads. What else have we got in here? Radiator hose down there. Tubing. Ooh, a marker. Tooth belt drives. What is this? Oh, this is off of a drill upsetter. We saw a similar one to that over at Mammoth Consolidated Mining Company. Electric motors. That looks like a pump off of a diesel engine, likely a Caterpillar based off of the yellow. Got a little boiler right here, boiler container. Hey, welding rods. Stick welding rods, all trashed. Chain drives, hydraulic lines, pneumatic lines, belt drives, carriage bolts, you name it, stove bolts. It's all here. This is their main, this was the hardware store of the mine, so to speak. Motors in various pieces, transformers. This looks like the electrical section here. See a lot of breakers, contactors, fuses, stuff of that nature. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, there's an interesting thing on the building here. There's this little, okay, here's the wall of the building. And there's this sort of little thing that sticks out on the side here. And if you look up, well, maybe not in this section, it goes up to the second floor. I'm not sure what the point of this thing was, but okay. Trying not to fall around here. So much stuff on the floor. What is that guy? Is it just a chunk of, I don't know, chunk of rubber, I guess. Yeah. A couple of motors over here. There's a nice piece of timber. What is that? It's a US Motors. What is this guy? It's a Century squirrel cage induction polyphase motor. Wow. It's pretty neat. I got interesting setup on it. There's that air line heading over to the shaft. And gate valves, just a ton of nuts. These nuts are huge. Here, I'll give you a finger for scale. My fingers aren't small. That's probably at least a 1-inch threaded shaft, probably 1.25 inches almost. Very big. Very big indeed. Barrels, stuff of that nature. Yeah, I'd say that's about it for the workshop. Okay, so you can see the drill press here. Here's the base on it. And it would have had a crank handle here for raising it up. And I don't know if we can get little bit more of this moved so you can see it. There's the table, and there's the quill. This is all belt drive. As you can see, let's get the phone on in there. Look at all the gears on her for speed reduction and whatnot. Oh, this is a beautiful piece. I can't see who makes it, if it's a Kennedy Auto or... Well, we're under here also. There's another big motor there. Another motor there. And it looks like it's trying to spin whatever this thing is. And it's, I dropped my flashlight. It's under, actually I could use a flashlight. This thing looks almost like a shaper or a table saw. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there's a nameplate. Come on. What does it say? People of the internet, can you read it? I can't read it. I think it's a table saw. Very old table saw. So, yeah, it's real neat, but shame it's all buried. You can see bits and pieces of the rest of the workshop here. Drawers and stuff. It'd be real neat if they could restore this. Shot showing, I guess you wouldn't call this the mill. This is more of the workshop. Although, I think this was originally the mill. Oh, Nick, okay. What Nick is standing on wasn't machinery. That was the stamps. And they were fed from up above. Ah.
Did you see that stamp inside that building over there?
Yeah, one of the shoes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had a stamp mill there, probably a 10 stamp mill. And they removed it when they finally, got the more modern mill. But where Nick is standing is where the mortar boxes would have been. And then that's why it's got that upper loft in just that section that doesn't make any sense. Ah, okay. Yeah, and so the ore was coming up from across. That explains that other thing. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Assay office. Compressor / winch building. Head frame. Original mill building converted workshop. First ore storage bin. And second ore storage bin, ball mill building, and that is the main mine works of this site. All right, so if you look over there at the mill, try zooming in, you can see the rail for the upper unloading station, and you can maybe make out lower rail too. So they could unload on 2 different levels and dump into the ore bin there. Nice little look at the mill. It looks like, see that thing sticking out there? That likely went across at one point, but then they put this giant tank in the building with the more modern workings. The building's a real hodgepodge. I mean, it's kind of all over the place. It's been added to for a long time, but it's a good shot of the whole thing. Oh, and a grizzly, and Nick for scale.
Grizzly.
Big. Nick for scale. Here's the mill. There's also this guy here. Yeah. Oh wow. A big Monkin ore feeder. Here's the electronics for it. Gosh damn, look at the chain links on that guy. This is a very new building, as you can tell by the concrete block on it. They used parts from all sorts of other things to make this. Yeah, it's very interesting. The question in our mind is, can you make it over to the mill from here, through here? Maybe. It doesn't look so bad. I might go. Let it never be said that we leave parts of mines unexplored. And a bit more of a drop than my fear of heights would like. Well, we're gonna. Oh.
Please tell me there's another way down.
No. You're looking at it. Nick, you made it, my boy.
That was not easy.
No, it wasn't. Out on this Explorer, leaving no stone unturned. Check out that lever over there. I'd get closer, but I'd probably die of fright. I don't like heights.
Well, the fact that the headphone is over
I got my
the shaft, I'm not going to go.
foot looped in so I can't fall no matter what. I really don't like heights. This makes me nervous. I'll rappel 450-foot shafts with you, Nick, any day, but please don't make me do this. God, Nick, balls of steel. He's just sitting there. Oh, Jesus Christ. Damn you, Nick. Damn you. Anyways, I think I'm gonna head back. This was a mistake. Phone battery is dying quick, so we're gonna have to be fast about this. We're in the log cabin, which may have some notion to the site's name. We got, it looks like a refrigerant compressor there. We got a wire cage with food boxes. Maybe wires keep rodents and such out. It's pretty well filled with pine needles and such. What have we got in here? Oh, more cold storage. Yeah, there's the evaporators. And you can see how this was insulated. Oh, that's pretty neat. Very early cold storage for the site. Here's a look at it. It's a beautiful little log cabin. Little side shed over here. Got a couple of sinks for washing. Old ladder. And yeah, that's about it. Very neat. Okay, we got straight 6 here, as you can see. This is a gasoline engine. And they just tossed everything over the side. That looks like a shaker table there. There's rate classifiers, there's all sorts of gears, pulleys, drives. But this is no doubt most of the older machinery, which the newer operation would have just wanted to get out of the way at the time. You can see all the flat belt drive pulleys over there and the massive mortar box. I was hoping to see a nameplate on it, but it looks like that's the side that's down. More spur gears over there. And it looks like a large water container over there. Bits and parts of stoves and just, you name it, they threw all the old machinery down here. What a shame. Okay, so here's the mortar box. It's pretty well buried. And this thing, just look at the casting thickness on this. Absolutely massive. I'd be willing to bet this thing weighs 10 tons just by itself. They threw it over the side. This is a 5-stamp mortar. So somewhere around here, there's probably another one, likely buried under all this other stuff. Here's a nice belt tensioner. And kombucha, some schmuck left that. We got something here. It's a Miesel and Gottfried company. I think this is a flat belt pulley. And a ball from the ball mill sitting over here. And there's a stove over here. Likely, actually this is probably the one that was in the mess hall. I don't know why it's over here. Somebody probably trying to steal it or something. Yeah, look at the size of this thing. Looks like it might be wood fired. Yeah. That's a hell of a stove. You can see all the rest of the interesting bits and bobs around here. Old pickup truck here. I'd say probably from about the 20s or 30s. Push rod. Looks like it's a straight 6-cylinder. That's on its side, which doesn't help. Nick noticed this Delco Remy Lovejoy. I believe this is a shock absorber for the frame. Yeah, she's pretty seized. There's one on the other side. Kingpin suspension. Drum brakes. Here's the oil pan. This is likely a babbited bearing engine. Here's your transmission. Pretty small. Drive shaft through the back. Wow, this is... oh yeah, there it is. Okay, let's get the ball joint instead of the U-joints. Wow, yeah, this is definitely, I'm gonna guess 1920, maybe 1910 even. It has no hydraulics for the braking system. It's all these levers. So however hard you can pull or push on these levers is how hard you're going to stop. Oh, it's got an interesting, it's got a gear reduction in the back for the drive. Look at that. Wow, I've never seen that before. Okay, the axle comes off and then it's got a gear and then it's got a ring gear for the wheels. So this thing, this must have been a torque monster. Wow, well, that's kind of nifty. See the supports for the running boards. Very cool. This it's a horse-powered winch, basically, probably from the earliest days of the mine. They just tossed it over here when they were done with it. God, it's incredible. See the beam that would go across the top here. The horses would go in a circle, and then the cable would come out the bottom of the drum instead of the top like you normally see, and the horses would step over it. You could use people if you had enough guys to turn it as well. Really cool. What do you call them again, Nick?
They're horse whims.
Horse whims. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Got a spool over here. We got something over here. I'm not sure what this is. And just for scale, we're downwind of let's see, where's that thing over there? There's that big half tank over there that we think that big wheel fits into, the one that's near the mill site. So yeah, they just dumped everything down here. Not sure what this is. Yeah, just all sorts of the much older processing equipment. Tanks and all sorts of weird stuff. Now that they've been moved and thrown around, it's hard to tell what their true designation was. These look like flotation tanks maybe. But I think that's about it for the site. We've seen just about all there is to see. Explored every square inch of her, as much as we could get into. Look at the size of this spring. Oh my God. That's how hernias are born. Come on, big umph. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, Nick, I might need you to jump from way up there as hard as you can onto this spring. I want to see how high you
I
bounce.
think I'm gonna fly through the roof.
Yeah, it'll launch you way up there.